The series started with our heroine, Mo, who was a beautiful and kind girl, but she was lonely and had no friends. One day, her mother came in and told her that she had married someone other than her father. She asked her to come live in the new house, but Mo refused and said she would wait for her brother Jin to return from his travels. She went into her room and locked herself in, so her mother got angry with her and decided to tell her the truth. She informed her that Jin was not her brother, but an orphan they adopted when he was small, and unfortunately, he would not return again. Our heroine was surprised by her words, but she did not believe her, saying that Jin promised her he would return. She insisted she trusted his words, so she decided to travel to look for him, and indeed, she did not waste any time. The next day, she boarded the plane and traveled to the city where he lived. But she fell asleep and her pen dropped, so another girl picked it up. The girl sitting next to her returned it, so Mo thanked her, got to know her, and told her that she was traveling. She explained she was looking for her brother, recalling her memories with him, saying that he was a kind person. He excelled in his studies, always helped her study, treated her well, and never shouted at her or got angry with her. However, she unfortunately did not remember his appearance because he traveled long ago, and the girl was touched by her words. She felt Mo was an angel and prayed she would find him. At that time, we saw our hero Jin, whom she was speaking about. He was indeed a handsome young man, and anyone who saw him would say he was respectable. But in reality, he turned out to be a bad boy and a troublemaker. We learned that he boxed for money in a secret underground place. His opponent was huge and attacked him with full force. The poor guy thought Jin was soft, not knowing he was a ruthless monster. Jin dodged his attacks and struck him with a powerful blow, defeating him. He broke his facial bones and won the fight while the audience cheered and chanted his name. When he finished, he received a call from his father informing him that Mo had come to the city looking for him and asked him to pick her up. He was asked to meet her at the airport. Jin was surprised and did not want her to see him, so she would not know he had become a failure. However, he was forced to obey. The next day, he went to the airport and saw two drivers bothering her. He shouted at them and drove them away. Mo was surprised when she saw him and ran to him. She could not believe her eyes, but he treated her coldly, took her bag, and told her to get in the car. On the way, Mo kept looking at him and asked about his life and if he had graduated from university, but he informed her that he did not complete his studies. She was surprised because he was smart, and when she asked for the reason, he refused to answer. Suddenly, a thug went to speak with him and asked him to come hang out with him that night. He left him and walked away. Our heroine was surprised and asked how he was friends with someone like that, but he did not answer her. He told her he was no longer the person she knew. He got out of the car to get her strawberry juice, and she immediately remembered their memories when they were small, as he always bought her strawberries. She was happy he still remembered what she loved. She was sure he was a kind person. Then Jin took her home, and when she arrived, she found her father drinking and not in his right mind. She realized he had also changed from before, and then she saw his new wife. The woman welcomed her and told her she was beautiful. Mo thanked her and distributed gifts to them. They all sat down to eat together, but Jin put a lot of food on her plate and told her that she was a guest who must eat and get full. Our heroine felt sad, understanding he wanted her to leave. At the same time, Jin's friend called him, so he went out to talk to him, but Mo followed him. They stopped talking, but the friend admired her beauty, greeted her, said goodbye, and left. Jin asked her why she followed him. She presented him with a gift she had brought, but instead of thanking her, he treated her coldly and told her that he did not like the gift. Mo was upset by his treatment, apologized to him, and went into her room. Jin felt guilty and went out to improve his mood. At night, Mo woke up worried about him and sent him a message saying she was hungry. She thought he would not reply, but he messaged back telling her to come down from the house. She was happy and got dressed. She went to him and found him waiting downstairs. He took her out to cheer her up, and our heroine kept walking behind him like she used to do when they were small. Suddenly, a motorcycle passed in front of them and was going to hit her, but Jin saved her at the right time and took her in his arms. Mo felt embarrassed that she was close to him, so she moved away. Jin took her to the market, invited her to a restaurant, and got her the food she loved. She tried to talk to him about his life and asked what had changed, but he did not reply. He did not reply to her and asked her to return to her country tomorrow. When she finished eating, he took her to leave, but suddenly a gang of thugs arrived and ran towards them to fight. The poor guys thought he was helpless and would run away, but they were wrong. He hit the first one with a chair, knocking him to the ground, and dodged the second one's attack, and he kicked him, sending him flying. One thug tried to kidnap Mo, but Jin stopped him. He got angry and hit him, grabbing his hand and nearly breaking it to make him regret it, but another one came from behind him. He wanted to catch him off guard, but Mo saw him and tripped him. She hit him in the stomach and broke his facial bones. Jin encouraged her, took her, and fled. One thug tried to throw a bottle at her, but Jin, that skilled guy, caught it in midair and broke it on the thug's head. He took her behind him on the motorcycle and drove at top speed. speed. He left the place and she hugged him the whole way. She was happy and felt safe, remembering the last time she saw him before he traveled. Back then, she was breaking down and crying, but he patted her and promised that he would return to her. Years passed, and she kept writing him letters every 2 days, but he did not reply to her, until she lost hope and decided to stop sending letters. She snapped out of her memories and was happy that her dream came true and they were reunited. When they returned home, she asked him about the thugs who wanted to beat him and the reason. He refused to answer her and asked her not to interfere in his life. So our heroine was upset by his words. She left him and went to sleep. Jin felt guilty for being harsh and went to meet his friends and drank lemon juice with them. Suddenly, he received a message from the gang telling him, "We couldn't beat you, so we took your father. If you want him, come." He was surprised and had to go to them to save his father. He gave them an envelope with money and told them he would pay the rest soon. Suddenly, their female leader arrived. We learned she had a crush on him for a long time, but he ignored her. She offered him a date in exchange for canceling all his debts. Jin was surprised, and the offer was tempting, and he was about to accept, but suddenly Mo sent him a message checking on him. He was happy with her care and told the leader that he did not agree. He left her and walked away. It seemed his heart was taken. The next day, our heroine waited for him, but she learned from his stepmother that he did not live with them and only returned home when something needed fixing. Our heroine was surprised by her words and got an idea. She went into the bathroom and broke the water heater. When Jin found out, he returned home to fix it. Mo kept watching him and was happy, admiring his handsomeness. She finally found her dream boy and felt her heart beating for him. She waited for him to finish and asked to talk to him, but he told her he was busy. He left her, but she worried about him and decided to follow him to find out his job. She took a taxi behind him and went to see what he would do. She followed him step by step without him noticing until they reached the train station, and suddenly, boom, he disappeared from in front of her. Mo thought he boarded the train and got scared because she did not know the way or what to do. Suddenly, he appeared standing and looking at her from afar. She realized he had seen her from the start and felt embarrassed, pretending she was going to the market, but he knew she was lying. He asked her to return home and gave her money for a taxi so she would not get lost. He left her and walked away. Mo felt frustrated and had to obey his words. She went to the station but met his friend by chance while he was driving a car. She decided to seize the opportunity and lied to him, saying Jin was waiting for her and asked him to take her to him. His friend believed her and took her to the place where he boxed. There, Jin was training because he had an important match. We learned that the manager asked him to lose because they bet a lot of money on his opponent. Our hero was forced to agree to pay off his debts. He entered the ring and the audience cheered for him because he was strong and had never lost a match in his life. The match began, and it looked like this would be the first match he lost. He attacked his opponent, knocked him to the ground, and kept hitting him so no one would suspect he intended to lose. Then he pretended to be dizzy, and his opponent seized the opportunity and attacked him. His opponent was angry and hit him with full force to force him to surrender. At that time, our heroine arrived at the place and was surprised to see him. She could not believe he was boxing for money. She learned from his friend that he would lose this match on purpose because the manager bet against him, but she could not bear seeing him get hurt in front of her. She called out to him while crying. Jin was lying on the ground, not resisting, but the moment he heard her voice, his energy increased. He got encouraged and stood up. Mo tried to go to him, but security stopped her. When Jin saw her, he attacked his opponent furiously with rage filling his eyes, landing a powerful blow exactly where it hurt. He broke his facial bones and succeeded in winning the fight, then ran to Mo, took her and walked away from the place. When he went out, he asked how she knew his location, but she was crying because he had changed and was no longer the same person from the past. Jin put her in the car to drive her home, and our heroine tried to talk to him, the whole way blaming him for not replying to her letters. She thought he hated her and apologized to him for causing him problems. She asked him to take her to the airport to return to her country, and Jin was touched by her words and could not reply, but suddenly he noticed a car following them and realized it was the boxer he defeated. He drove at top speed to escape him and asked Mo to help him, giving her his mobile to open the city map and tell him the route to take. Indeed, our heroine did so and became his GPS. She kept directing him to the next street, go right, turn left. Jin trusted all her decisions and listened to her words. He succeeded in outrunning all the chasing cars, causing them to crash up and reach the finish line alone. Mo was happy, but she was surprised that many people were waiting for him and learned he was participating in a dangerous race for a bet. The race manager was surprised when he saw her because he asked him to come alone, but Jin held her hand and told him she was his girlfriend, pretending they were a couple. Mo felt embarrassed because he got close to her. The manager believed him and gave him his prize. Jin noticed she was cold and hugged her to warm her up. When he sensed she was shy, he took her and walked away from the place. When they got into the car, Mo yelled at him because he participated in boxing and races, endangering his life for money. money. She left him, got out, and blamed him for not completing his studies. Jin was upset by her words and decided to tell her the truth, speaking to her angrily. Look, when we traveled, someone scammed my father and stole all his money, and because of that, we did not have a good place to live. We were forced to stay in a cheap room to the point that water would enter on us while we were sleeping. That is why I decided to quit my studies and work. I kept trying many jobs and endangered my life to be able to support myself, pay off my father's debts, and live in safety. Mo felt guilty because she judged him wrongly and felt sorry for him because he suffered a lot in his life. She asked him to return with her to the house to her mother and kept begging him to agree. She promised she would stand by him, help him, and make him complete his studies and start a new life. Jin felt pain because she did not know her mother abandoned him, so he remained silent. She fell asleep, and when she woke up, she found him covering her with his jacket and saw him sitting in front of the sea. She went to thank him, but he informed her that her mother came to the city and took her to drop her off with her. The next day, he took her to the hotel where her mother was staying, and our heroine asked him to come greet her, but he refused, left her, and walked away. Mo went, and her mother welcomed her, but she was surprised she wanted to send her abroad to complete her studies, saying she did not agree to her living there. She also noticed Jin standing from afar and realized he wanted to see her mother from a distance. However, when she looked at him, he felt embarrassed and walked away. Her mother learned from her that he was the one who drove her in his car. She asked her to stay away from him because he was not her brother and had become a failure. Mo got angry at her words and defended him, telling her he was a good person but had difficult circumstances. She left her and returned to the house. She entered her room, confused and not knowing what to do. By chance, she found the letters she sent him when she was small and was surprised that he still kept them. She learned that he had sent her letters more than once, but her mother was the one who used to tear them up. She cried because she thought he had forgotten her. The next day, her mother went to wait for her at the airport. When she was late, she knew she would not come and had to leave her and travel with her husband. Our heroine remained, waiting for Jin in his room. His little sister saw her, felt sorry for her, and gave her the address of his workshop. Mo was happy, thanked her, and decided to go to him. When she arrived, she saw him repairing a car. She kept watching him until he finished. Jin was surprised when he saw her and asked what brought her, but she noticed the clock passed and wished him a happy birthday. That is the reason, dear viewers, today was his birthday. He remembered back when they were small and used to celebrate her birthday. Back then, his mother asked him about his birthday, but he did not know, so they decided to celebrate their birthdays on the same day. Jin snapped out of his memories and decided to celebrate with her like old times. He took her to a sweet shop and bought her the strawberry cake she loved, and our heroine was happy that. He still remembered all the details, from drinks to sweets. They returned to his workshop, and there he asked her to make a wish. Of course, she wished he would stay with her forever because he was her most precious person. Jin kept looking at her while her eyes were closed, and it was clear he admired her. After that, Mo blew out the candles, and they ate the cake together. They kept laughing and joking and spent a nice time happily, but Mo was not used to drinking, so she got dizzy quickly and kept hallucinating and doing strange movements. Suddenly, she felt that her stomach was hurting. She said to him, "Sorry, can I go to the bathroom and come back? Actually, never mind. It does not need a bathroom. I must sleep at your place today because it looks serious." Jin was forced to agree and went to the pharmacy and brought her a painkiller. When he returned, he found her wearing his clothes, and of course, he admired her beauty. He left the room for her and decided to sleep outside, but he heard her voice crying. When he went to her, he realized she was having a nightmare. He held her hand to reassure her and had a flashback to when he was young. We learned that her mother did not love him and wanted him to leave the house, but she noticed that Mo was attached to him and loved playing with him, so her mother decided to let him stay in the house until she grew up, so as not to break her heart. The next day, Jin woke up early and prepared breakfast for her. One of the workers arrived, but our hero asked him to lower his voice because someone was sleeping inside. The worker was surprised because he did not allow anyone to sleep in his workshop. He left him and went to fix a car, but he did not know how. Suddenly, Mo woke up and went to help him, and she succeeded in starting it. The worker was surprised when he saw her and kept looking at her, asking who she was. Jin came over and felt jealous, so he asked him to stay away from her and took her with him to the kitchen. There, he noticed she was afraid of the oil and laughed at her. She said, "Who is afraid? I am brave and can handle it." She kept standing beside him and asked him to allow her to stay living with him in the workshop because she wanted to help him, but he refused and said he would return her home today. He left her and went to the market. Mo felt frustrated and decided to pack her bag, but suddenly the boxer, whom Jin fought, arrived at the workshop with thugs wanting revenge. Mo saw him and knew they wanted to fight him. One of them tried to break his car with a screwdriver, but our heroine ran to him, stopped him, hit him, and broke his facial bones. She filmed them with her mobile and threatened them to leave or she would call the police. The boxer got angry and ran after her to take the mobile from her, but fortunately, Jin arrived at the right time, kicked the boxer, pushed him away from her, and warned him that if he tried to approach her again, he would make him regret it. He started fighting him, and a battle broke out between them again. Both were professionals, but our hero dodged all his strikes left and right. Mo feared that the workshop would get destroyed, so she immediately called the police without thinking and threatened to report them. The boxer got scared and decided to leave the place, telling them that they would meet again, but Jin did not. Fear and told him he was waiting for him anytime. You coward. After that, Mo sat with Jin's friend and asked him why the thugs were fighting him. He informed her that they wanted him to work with them, but he refused. Mo feared for him and decided to help him. She tried to carry the ladder with him, but it was heavy and she could not. The workers laughed at her and Mo felt embarrassed. She went to collect nails from the floor or anything else. She was surprised that Jin could carry the ladder alone and admired his strength. She kept looking at him, dazzled by his muscles. She felt she fell in love with him, but she told herself that he was considered her brother. At that time, Jin's friend was in the shop. Suddenly, a rich young man entered and asked him if the car parked outside was his. It was Jin's car, but his friend lied and told him, "It is mine," pretending he was a professional at driving and won any race. The rich young man felt he was lying and offered to challenge him. If he won, he would give him a lot of money. Jin's friend was happy and agreed. At the end of the day, he went to Jin, told him what happened, and asked him to help him. Our hero told him, "Next time, don't show off." He agreed, took him to his workshop, and showed him the fastest car he had and told him if he could control it, he would win the race. He decided to give him driving advice and took him in the car. He drove at top speed and performed dangerous stunts in front of him. His friend was dazzled by his skills and decided to train under his supervision. The next day, Mo went to meet the girl she met on the plane and decided to apply to her school to be close to Jin. The girl was happy and took her to show her around the school. By chance, our heroine saw Jin's picture hanging because he won a running championship. She told her friend that this was her brother. She stood in front of it, proud of him, wishing he would return to complete his studies again because he was smart. Then she went to his workshop, but she was surprised that he was smoking cigarettes. She yelled at him and asked him to stop smoking for his health, but he refused and hid the lighter from her. She got angry and kicked him, sending the lighter flying from his hand, showing him that she was also a professional in taekwondo. Jin mocked her and was about to hit her, but suddenly his friend arrived and asked him to come train him. Jin apologized to him because he was busy, and our heroine decided to go with him. On the way, she asked him if Jin was in a relationship. His friend told her, "I have never seen him standing with any girl in the world, but he once bought a pendant with a name on it, and surely he intends to give it to his girlfriend." Mo was surprised and decided to look for the pendant. "I must know who the girl is who took his heart." Then they arrived at the place where they would train, and Jin's friend tried to do the moves he learned from him, but he failed. Our heroine decided to try herself, remembering memories with her father because back then he was a professional driver. She began imitating all his moves and succeeded in driving the car very fast, drifting with it. Jin's friend was dazzled by the talent she had. Then her friend arrived and asked her to come with her, taking her to her cousin's birthday party. There, they found many cars, and Mo kept taking pictures of them. Suddenly, Jin called her, but she ignored him and did not answer. She told her friend that she did not know the truth of his feelings towards her. Does he love me or not? What does he consider me in? His life? So her friend suggested she take a picture with a handsome young man and send it to him to see if he would get jealous or not. Mo was convinced by the idea and asked her, "Who should I take a picture with?" Her friend kept thinking, and suddenly her cousin arrived. He was the rich young man himself, and we learned his name was Young. The girls were dazzled when they saw him because he was handsome, rich, had all the qualities any girl would wish for, and was from a rich family. Mo's friend decided to take a picture of her with him. She called him cousin, seized the opportunity and took a picture of her standing next to him. Then she sent the picture to Jin and turned off her mobile quickly. Our hero was surprised when he saw the picture, got in his car, and decided to go there. Mo entered the party and kept waiting for him, but one of the thugs saw her and went to talk to her, telling her he knew Jin's girlfriend and asking her to drink with him, and he would tell her. Unfortunately, Mo believed him and did so, but he had put a sleeping pill in the juice, wanting to trick her. As soon as she tasted it, she fainted. Fortunately, Young saw her and went to save her from him. He carried her and took her into the house to try to wake her up. At that time, Jin arrived and saw him close to her. He misunderstood the situation and thought he wanted to kidnap her. He attacked him furiously, rage filling his eyes, not giving him a chance to defend himself. He fought with him, and their strength was equal. They kept hitting each other for a long time until they broke the house. Fortunately, Mo woke up at the right time, stopped them, called Jin, and told him what happened. He was happy she was okay, covered her with his jacket, and took her to the hospital. Before leaving, he apologized to Young, telling him he would pay for the things that were broken, then left him and walked away. He went to the clinic and had the doctor examine our heroine. He told her she had an allergy to the juice she drank and asked her to stay in the hospital for her health to improve. Mo seized the opportunity and pretended to be sick and unable to move to make Jin care, and indeed her plan succeeded. He stayed by her side all night, offering offering her water, juice, and food, assuring her he would stay awake until she slept. He leaned in to give her an apple, but suddenly his friend walked in on them. "What are you doing?" I misunderstood the situation. Jin got angry and took him outside to rest, asking him to take care of the workshop. Then they returned to Mo. He peeled the apple for her and asked her to eat to get better because she must leave the hospital. Mo was happy with the attention and thanked him. The next day, Jin took her in his car to drive her to his father's house, but she pretended to be dizzy. "I don't feel well, I can't." So Jin believed her and felt sorry for her. He decided to take her to his workshop so he could take care of her. She said, "God, the plan is going perfectly." When she arrived, she told him she would change her clothes, seize the opportunity, and decided to look for the pendant his friend said he bought. She kept searching everywhere, but she did not find it. She suspected he kept it with him and decided to get close to him to try to steal it. When she came out, she was surprised he had prepared milk for her. She told him she did not like it, but he told her, "Drink it so you recover and be fine, and I will return you to my father's house." Mo got scared and had to drink, saying, "Okay." She kept looking at him with looks full of love and romance. Then she went with her friend to apply to the school and handed her papers to the principal. Indeed, he accepted her, and our heroine was happy because she would stay near Jin. She celebrated with her friend, and at the end of the day, she returned to the workshop but was surprised the door was locked and thought Jin did that to force her to go to her father. She was upset and had to do so, but when she arrived, she found the door locked too. She found it strange and called her stepmother, learning she went to visit relatives in the village. Mo was confused, went to walk in the street, and by chance stepped on a hand. She was surprised it was her father sleeping beside trash bags. She realized he was extremely drunk and not conscious. She tried to carry him, but she could not. She feared he would catch a cold, so she covered him and decided to stay beside him all night. Fortunately, Jin passed by them, saw them, carried his father, and took him back home. He realized the electricity was cut and fixed it. After that, he sat with Mo and told her he closed the workshop because he was traveling to buy spare parts. Our heroine realized she had judged him wrongly. She told him she applied to school and would stay living with them. Jin was happy, but he pretended not to care and left her money to buy whatever she wanted. He said goodbye and left. Mo kept looking at him and asked him to return quickly. Then her father woke up and apologized to her for causing her problems and prepared the food she loved. Mo was happy and decided to make him stop drinking. The next day, Jin bought the spare parts he needed and installed them in his car. We learned he did that because he was going to participate in a dangerous race. At night, he tested the car, driving at top speed even though the road was difficult, but he succeeded in beating all competitors and took first place deservedly. The next day, Mo went with her friend to Young's workshop and kept photographing cars with her mobile, but Young saw her on camera and thought she was spying on him. He decided to check for himself, called her friend, and told her he brought her a guitar as a gift. She believed him, left Mo, and went to take it. Young seized the opportunity and turned off the light to scare her. Suddenly, he appeared behind her and asked if Jin was the one who sent her there, but she denied it and informed him that her friend brought her to see the modern cars. Young decided to test her courage. He asked her to ride in his car and drove at top speed, but he noticed she was not afraid and realized she loved cars. He apologized to her and decided to drive her home. Mo thanked him, left him, and got out, but her stepmother saw them and thought they were dating. So she called Jin and told him what happened, asking him to talk to her to ensure she was okay. Our hero was surprised, felt jealous, and decided to do so. At night, he went out with her. He told her that young men try to get close to girls to play with them, but she was not convinced by his words and told him there were young men who were good and whose feelings were real. Suddenly, while walking, she was about to fall into a manhole, but Jin caught her, pulled her towards him, and hugged her. The two kept looking at each other, and Mo felt her heart already knew who its lover was. Jin held her hand, and they kept walking until they reached the workshop, and there, he found his friends gathered to eat. Mo went in to wash her hands, but met the gang leader who loved Jin, and the two kept looking at each other without speaking. The leader remembered she saw her at the boxing match, approached her to scare her, and asked who she was and what she was doing there. Fortunately, Jin arrived, separated them before they fought, and took them to go eat with the rest of their friends. The leader noticed he cared for the heroine more than her, so she felt jealous. She went to sit beside him, got close, and tried to feed him with her hand, but he got angry and stabbed a fork into the middle of the table just to make her stay away from him. Mo was happy with what he did, left them, and entered the workshop. She pretended to be busy doing homework so he would not tell her to return home. His friend went to give her juice. Mo thanked him and asked him about Jin's relationship with the leader, but he informed her it was impossible for him to date her because she was the daughter of the biggest mafia boss in the country. The heroine was happy and went out to check on him, but she saw him standing with the leader, who offered him a job with her to make him rich, but he refused and asked her to leave. Then he saw Mo hiding and asked her what she was doing. She said, "Huh? Who? No, I am not doing anything. I am cleaning the car." He knew she was a liar and told her, "Despite everything you do, I will not let you live with me in the workshop and you will return home." She pretended pretended to be sick, saying, "Help me, a cup of juice quickly," and ran to the room to sleep and locked the door. Jin laughed at her behavior and had to leave her alone. The next day, he tried to wake her early, but she refused to wake up, and because of that, she was late for school. When she got up, she kept acting cute, so he would take her on his motorcycle until he agreed. He put the helmet on her to protect her and took her behind him to the place. When they arrived, he gave her breakfast, and she liked the extra care. Oh, dear viewer, before she left, she gave him the parents' meeting invitation. Jin was happy she considered him family and went to the house of. He went to his father's house, entered his old room, and took out a shirt he had kept since school days. His stepmother was surprised and asked him what he would do with it, but he refused to tell her. When Mo returned to the workshop, she found he prepared the food she loved and also presented his shirt to her as a gift to wear. The workers were surprised because he kept it for a long time and it was precious to him. Mo was happy, thanked him, and promised to take care of it. The next day, she wore it and went to school. Her friend was surprised to see her wearing it because the logo on it was gold, and told her that this belonged to distinguished students who studied at the school and won many awards. Our heroine understood why Jin kept it. When she returned to the house, she decided to test him and asked him to help with her homework, but she was surprised that he solved all questions easily. She confirmed he was a smart student. She felt sad that he did not complete his studies and enter university. Then she left him and went to his friend's shop. She found a small dog with him and learned he found it on the street. She felt sorry for it and kept feeding it herself. She wanted to keep it, and when she met Jin, she asked him to allow her to raise the dog, but he refused because he did not want her to get attached to it and eventually leave. Mo was upset by his words because she felt that he treated her badly because he thought a day would come when she would leave him. She left him and walked away. Jin felt guilty. He went to his friend and decided to buy the dog for her. He presented it to her as a gift. When Mo returned and saw it, she was happy, thanked Jin, and said that he was the kindest person she met in her life. She took the dog out for a walk, but she met the gang leader on her way and knew she came to speak with Jin. She stood far away to eavesdrop and hear them. She noticed she was trying to get close to him and felt jealous. She decided to help him and went to give him an apple she brought for him. Jin ate it from her hand while looking at her, and the gang leader got annoyed by the looks of love. She left the place, and Mo was happy her plan succeeded, but Jin asked her, "Why were you confident that I would eat the apple from your hand and not send you back?" She laughed and told him, "He who does not see through the sieve is blind." She ate the apple instead of him, left him, and walked away, as if he did not notice she loved him. After that, she went with her friend to get a driving license and managed to pass the tests easily. She took the license from the instructor and was happy because she would be able to drive cars like Jin. She decided to go watch the race his friend would participate in. Young arrived in his car, and when he saw her, he welcomed her and bought her juice to apologize to her for his treatment of her last time. She thanked him and decided to stay with him until Jin's friend arrived, but he got lost on the way and was late because he did not know how to drive well. When he arrived, our heroine asked him to withdraw because she feared for him, but he refused so he would not look bad. He closed the car window, confident in himself. As soon as the race started, he went off the road on the first lap. Young knew he was not the car owner and was lying. He felt frustrated and withdrew from the race. He went to take his cap to return it to its owner and told Mo that he would wait for her under the mountain. Our heroine decided to drive herself and succeeded in descending the mountain in record time. Young was surprised by her speed, knew she was talented, and admired her. Then Mo saw Jin's friend trying to take pictures with girls, but they refused and laughed at his look. She felt sorry for him and decided to help him, giving him tips to change his look. She suggested he shave his beard and get a new haircut. He was convinced by her words and decided to do so. The next day, he went to the workshop after changing his look. Mo was surprised when she saw him because he became more handsome than before, and she kept taking pictures with him. Jin felt jealous, called her and asked to talk to her because he was surprised she came to the workshop even though she knew he was not her brother. He approached her and asked if she had a crush on him. She got nervous from his words, refused to say anything, left him, and went out shyly. Then Young went to Jin's father's restaurant and kept waiting for him until he arrived. He returned his cap because he knew that he was the owner of the car. He offered to race against him, saying if he won, he would give him a lot of money, but Jin refused, told him he was busy, left him, and walked away. At night, Mo stayed up thinking about the words John said. She was confused, her feelings mixed, not knowing if she loved him or considered him her brother. The next day, she went to school and saw her, a clingy student who admired her beauty. He tried to get to know her and asked for her number, but she refused and ignored him. After class, she ran to the bathroom to escape him because he was annoying. She called her friend quickly and asked her, "What should I do? There is a pig of a student here sticking to me." She learned from her that he was a rich loser. She decided to stay away from him and climbed out the window because he was waiting outside, but she saw Jin in front of the school and she was surprised to see him taking a bag from a stranger and giving him money. She got scared and thought he might be trading in illegal substances, so she decided to ask him, but the clingy student saw her and went after her. He offered to drive her in his car, but she refused, left him, went to Jin, and got in with him. On the way, she tried to know what was in the bag, but he refused to answer her. He asked her about her clingy classmate and what his deal was, asking her not to talk to him and focus on her studies. It was clear he was jealous over her, and she was flying with joy, promising him to do everything he wanted. The next day, she went to his workshop early. She thought he was sleeping and went to talk to his friend, but he asked her, "What would you do if Jin saw you and kicked you out?" She told him, "Shame on you. I could sing to him, tell him jokes, and if that doesn't work with him, I'll dance." Jin was standing behind her listening. He asked her to dance then. When Mo saw him, she felt embarrassed and ran away. Jin laughed at her behavior, saying, "Turns out she does not know how to dance." He kept thinking about her, and without realizing, he found himself drawing her. He knew he admired her, but he did not have the courage to confess the truth of his feelings to her. The next day, Mo entered his room to look for the bag, but she found her drawing. She was happy, took a picture of it with her mobile, and kept looking at it. She knew if she asked him, he would deny it and would never answer her, so she would stay after him until she made him confess his feelings and love. After that, she went for driving training with her friend. She kept drifting with the car very fast, but she knew she needed a private instructor. Her friend suggested to let Young, her cousin, train her because he was a professional and had many cars. The problem was surely he would be busy and refuse. Suddenly, Young arrived in his car and performed dangerous stunts in front of them. They were dazzled by his skills. Our heroine asked him to train her in driving. She thought he would refuse, but he shocked her and agreed. He took her with him in his car and started giving her tips to learn the moves. Mo decided to try herself. She kept following the instructions he told her and did everything, and the move worked from the first time. Young admired the talent and encouraged her, telling her, "You have a glimmer of hope." But inside, he kept looking at her like that and told her, "You are beautiful." He said goodbye and left. Her friend was surprised by his behavior and told her surely he admired her, but Mo knew he was acting with her. She told her he did that just to annoy Jin and force him to race against him. At that time, Jin went to his father because he was a professional driver and asked him for tips because he would participate in an important race soon. His father told him, "Son, my time has passed, but I will still give you the tips I have." He told him to improve his skills, he must listen to instructions. Jin decided to execute them and kept training all night until he succeeded in learning them. The next day, he went to school because he was Mo's guardian. Our heroine was happy when she saw him, thanked him for coming, took him with her to the meeting, and took a picture of him without him noticing. When her turn came, she went up on the stage and kept explaining to the students. Jin felt proud of her, my teaching and upbringing. Then, while they were going home, it rained on them. He covered her with his jacket to protect her from the cold. She kept looking, her eyes shooting hearts. His hand is warm. She held it to warm herself, and they spent a nice time under the rain. The atmosphere was romantic. When they returned home, she asked him to dry her hair. Jin had to do so. Then he brought her water to drink and told her to sleep. Give us a break. However, she asked him about the reason for the divorce of her father and mother. John recalled his memories and told her that her father changed because of the debts he had. Once he was angry and broke her mother's plants, and he did not know they were precious to her. Because of that, she separated from him. See? Because of plants. Mo was touched by the words and asked him to stay with her until she slept. Jin covered her and stayed beside her, hearing her call for him while sleeping. He held her hand, reassured her, and promised to protect her. The next day, he learned that Young was teaching her driving to get close to her. He went to meet him and warned him to stay away from her, or I will make you regret it. But Young asked him to race against him and promised if he won, I will stay away from her. Jin had to agree, got in his car, and started racing him. Both were talented at driving and kept drift through the city streets, going back and forth, right and left, up and down, everywhere. However, our hero knew the road better than him. Bit by bit, he risked his life, drove at top speed, entered narrow streets, and succeeded in reaching the finish. Line first, winning the challenge. Young was dazzled by his skills and offered him to join his team, but Jin refused, telling him, I am not interested in money or fame. He left him and went to celebrate New Year's with our heroine. When he arrived, he found her standing on the stage waving to him, and he was surprised that she had prepared a song for him. She started singing in a beautiful and soft voice, and Jin kept looking at her, recalling his memories with her when she was a child until she grew up and became a beautiful girl. He admired her voice and applauded for her. When she finished, he took her with him in his car for a change of scenery. They went to the sea together, and she asked him where he usually celebrated every year. He told her he did not care about these things, and today was the first time he did. So because she was there, Mo was happy with his words. She left him, ran on the beach, and kept calling out to him, saying she had a crush on him, but he did not hear her because of the sea waves. When he approached her, he heard her singing and asked her to go home because it was late, but she refused because she wanted to watch the shooting stars. She sat next to him on the sand, resting her head on his shoulder until she fell asleep. Suddenly, a shooting star passed in the sky, but Jin did not want to disturb her. He decided to make a wish himself, saying he wished they would stay together always and never separate from each other ever, looking at her with eyes full of love. The next day, Mo went to school and saw the person Jin took the bag from. She went to talk to him and asked him what was in it. She thought it was illegal substances, but he told her it was car spare parts because he worked as a mechanic. Mo was surprised and realized she had judged him wrongly. When she returned home, she found the clingy student waiting for her. He tried to talk to her and offered to go on a date together, but she refused and ignored him like every time. She sent a message to Jin asking him to come pick her up, but he shocked her by refusing, saying he was busy. She took a picture of her book and sent it to him, but when he opened it, he saw the student's reflection in the water glass, so he felt jealous and decided to go to her. He kept waiting for her in front of the school until she came out. She was surprised when she saw him and asked why he changed his mind, but he did not reply to her and looked at the student with eyes full of anger. Of course, the student understood his intention, got scared, and decided to stay away from this girl. After that, Mo went to meet her friend. Suddenly, the gang leader entered and asked to speak with her. Her friend was afraid for her, but Mo reassured her she would be okay. She left her and went with the leader, asking her to tell her Jin's past. The leader told her that he used to work in my father's workshop, and I admired him from the day I saw him because he was smart and conscientious in his work. I tried to get close to him more than once, but he refused because he was focused on his studies. I kept watching him and taking pictures of him without him noticing. One day, I learned he decided to build a car himself to sell it and pay off his debts. He kept staying up every day until he succeeded in finishing it. Indeed, a customer bought it from him for a large sum, but unfortunately he had an accident with it, was seriously injured, and could no longer walk. Because of that, he filed a lawsuit against him to get compensation. I tried to help him and sold my car to give him the money, but he refused to take it because he felt guilty. He decided to quit his studies and work day and night until he collected the amount himself. However, he later discovered that my father was the one behind the accident to force him to work with him. Jin got angry because he destroyed his life. He decided to leave him and opened a workshop for himself, and since then he hates me even though I have no fault in anything. The leader finished her words. Mo was touched and cried because Jin was wronged and suffered a lot in his life. She was sad because she was not by his side. She kept drinking to forget, and at night Jin found out her location and went to her. He found her falling asleep and hallucinating from drinking too much. He decided to carry her to take her home. The leader remained alone until the boxer went to help her. He heard her saying she loved him and was happy because he had admired her for a long time, but she called him by Jin's name. He was surprised and knew she was hallucinating. He was annoyed because she was still thinking about him despite everything that happened and felt his heart was broken. After that, Jin arrived at the workshop and made a drink for Mo to sober up, but she held his hand and told him she would stay by his side for a lifetime. She hugged him and fell asleep from exhaustion. Jin was touched by her words, took her into her room to rest, and went out to sit with his friend thinking about her. His friend noticed he was distracted and told him, "I know you have a crush on Mo," encouraging him to confess his feelings to her. Jin remained silent, but he was sure that he truly loved her. The next day, his father and his wife went on a trip to celebrate New Year's. Mo refused to go with them, so she would not leave Jin alone. At night, she went to his workshop and found him celebrating with his friends. She sat with them, and Jin noticed she was wet from the rain. He kept drying her clothes and put her hands in his pocket to warm them. However, by chance, she found the pendant she had been looking for and was surprised her name was written on it. She was happy and knew that he loved her. Afterwards, they ate with their friends, kept joking, laughing, having fun, and spent a nice time, as if they were one family. When the clock struck 12, everyone started to make a wish. They presented gifts to our heroine, and she was happy with everyone's attention and thanked them. Then they went to watch the fireworks. Mo was happy and felt she was living the happiest moments of her life. At the end of the day, Jin went to drop her off, but she asked him to carry her on his back like old times. Our hero had to fulfill her wish. He went up the stairs with her, and she broke his back. When they entered the house, Mo stood on his feet because she was not wearing sneakers. She got nervous because she was very close to him, so she left him and entered her room while she was shy. Jin prepared to leave, but she called out to him, telling him to stay the night with them today because it was late. She asked him to tell her a story like old times and promised him she would not sleep before he finished it. Jin agreed and stayed with her until she slept. The next day, he called her and told her that he was waiting for her downstairs and had prepared a surprise for her. Our heroine was happy, got dressed, and went down quickly. She was surprised he brought her a new car and gave her the key to drive it. Mo got in, drove around, and performed the moves that she learned from young. Jin was dazzled by her skills and knew she had become a professional. He noticed she drew a heart on the road. He was happy and decided to complete the drawing. He got in the car, drove around, and made an arrow on the heart. Then he took her and went to the market, stopping in front of a 1,000-year-old tree. Mo learned that it granted wishes and decided decided to try. This is a myth, dear viewer. She wrote that she wished Jin would love her, and they would spend their lives together. She hung the wish on the tree and refused to let him know what she wrote. Then they continued their way and went to a festival, but the place was crowded, and Jin had to hold her hand, so she would not get lost. Mo tried to tell him something in his ear, but people pushed her, and because of that, she kissed him on his cheek. She felt embarrassed and apologized to him. While going home, they met the gang leader and the thugs. The boxer kept annoying them and tried to approach our heroine, but Jin pushed him away from her. The mafia boss arrived, the one who was the cause of destroying his life. He talked to him and told him that his daughter had a crush on him. He wanted him to marry her and return to work with him, but Jin refused. He held our heroine's hand and pretended in front of them that they were dating. The boss got angry and ordered the thugs to fight him. Our hero stood in front of her to protect her and prepared to fight them, but his friend arrived calling to people on loudspeakers. A large number gathered in the place. Because of that, the thugs got scared and had to leave. Mo was happy and kept taking pictures with Jin. At the end of the day, he took her home. She thanked him for the outing, said goodbye, and left. His friend kept nagging him to confess his feelings to her. Afterwards, the gang leader remembered what happened and was furious that Jin was with someone else. She kept training until she injured her hand. The boxer arrived and stood in front of her to stop her. He stayed with her until she calmed down. He took her, put a bandage on her, and treated her hand, but despite that, she broke his heart and told him it was impossible for her to love him. She left him and walked away crying. The boxer was upset by her words and decided to take revenge on Jin because he was the reason. He went to his workshop, fought with him, and tried to hit him, but our hero dodged all his attacks easily and grabbed his hand. He warned him that if he approached him again, he would make him regret it. He regret it. He left him and walked away. Then the heroine woke up and found her father returned from the trip. She was surprised that Jin was standing in the kitchen preparing food. She felt embarrassed because she looked bad and her hair was messy. She entered her room quickly, put on a nice dress, and came out. They sat down to eat with each other. Jin kept caring for her and fed her himself. Mo was happy and thanked him. When they finished, she saw him while he was smoking. She told him, "Hey, you jerk." He said, "Just shut up, you girl." She went to take it from him and pretended she would smoke too. He told her, "It is wrong." She was happy he feared for her, but she also asked him to quit. She stood in front of him and asked if he thought she was beautiful, but he refused to answer her and walked away. She got angry and followed him, but suddenly he approached her and told her she was the most beautiful girl he saw in his life. She was happy with his words, but got nervous and told him, "No, that's it. I am shy. I will leave." Then Jin went to the workshop and found a package from Young. When he opened it, he was surprised it was the spare parts he needed, but he refused to accept them. He went to meet him, told him he did not need his help, returned his package, left him, and walked away. Young admired his personality and decided to observe him more. He learned he would participate in a new race today. He went to watch him and asked his opponents to cooperate against him, but to no avail. Our hero, faster than a dragon, succeeded in outdistancing them all and took first place, dear viewer. They went right and left, and Young was dazzled by his skills and intelligence. He waited for him at the finish line and asked to speak with him, but suddenly Mo sent him a message saying she wanted to see him, so he decided to go to her. The next day, he waited for her in front of the house while she was going to school, but she was upset with him because he had been missing for 2 days and not talking to her. Jin apologized to her that he was busy, took her in his car, drove her to school, told her he would wait for her until she finished, and asked her to smile because he did not like seeing her upset. "Oh, you romantic guy. Oh," she told him. "Okay, you embarrassed me," and forgave him. At the end of the day, she came out and found him. He told her, "What? I take you and bring you back? I must." They went to the market and bought fish. When they returned home, Mo decided to cook for him herself. She got the recipe from the internet and started trying, but she was afraid of the oil and moved back. Jin laughed at her behavior and went to take over for her. She kept helping from afar. When they finished, they sat down to eat with his friends, and they were amazed by the taste of the food. They asked him, "Who is the prince who made this?" Jin refused to embarrass her and told them, "She was standing giving me instructions while I worked, but okay, let's go." Afterwards, they all played a game together. Jin kept looking at her while she was laughing, and he was charmed by her innocence because she was like a child. Suddenly, he received a call and went to answer. Mo kept drinking until she got dizzy and went after him, not focused. Without any introductions, Hoba, she kissed him. Our hero was surprised by what she did. He knew she was not conscious. Mo felt embarrassed, left him, and went to sit with his friends. They noticed she was sad and thought Jin bullied her, but he sat next to her and kept holding her hand without anyone noticing. The fireworks started, and they watched them together happily. Afterwards, Jin took her home, carried her on his back because she was dizzy, and put her down in front of the door. He told her they would talk tomorrow when she sobered up, but she asked him to stay with her and kept hugging him until she fell asleep. Jin took her into her room and took off her sneakers, but she put her hand on his face while sleeping. Our hero laughed and covered her so she would wake up fresh. The next day, she indeed woke up, feeling tired and remembered what happened yesterday. She felt embarrassed by what she she did, so she screamed loudly. Her stepmother heard her and wondered what happened. Mo reassured her she was fine, everything was okay. She did not know how she would face Jin after what she did. She was surprised he sent her a message asking her to come to the workshop. She said, "That's it. Everything is ruined, but since it is ruined anyway," she encouraged herself and decided to go to him. She kept waiting for him outside late until he arrived. The two kept looking at each other silently. Afterwards, they went inside. He sat next to her and noticed she was nervous and afraid. He told her, "If you regret what you did yesterday, you can withdraw and I will forget what happened." Mo knew she rushed a bit, but she did not regret it. She felt embarrassed and could not look him in the eye. Jin was happy with her words and finally took out his necklace. It was his real mother's necklace, which she left with him when he was a small child when people adopted him. He put it on her and asked her to keep it because it was precious to him. Mo was touched by his words and promised him she would do so. They decided to date and meet in secret without letting their parents or their friends know. The next day, Jin prepared a surprise for her. He sent her a message telling her, "Look from the balcony." When she went out, she found him standing under the house. Suddenly, he opened his car door and many balloons flew out into the air. It looks like really no one will notice. Our heroine was surprised and remembered her memories when she was small. We learned that this was a wish of hers, and Jin promised to fulfill it for her. Mo was happy he kept his promise to her and kept looking at him happily. After that, he went up to her place to teach her cooking. "You must be a clever housewife." Mo succeeded in learning quickly, but she was still afraid of the oil and accidentally spilled sauce on his clothes. She apologized to him and brought him another t-shirt to wear, but she got shy when he changed in front of her, as if she is shy, pretending to close her eyes until he dressed. Suddenly, she heard his little sister's voice outside. She got scared and asked him to hide, but he laughed and told her, "This is my house, not your house." He went out, and she also went out after him, feeling embarrassed. They sat down to eat, and his little sister was suspicious of them. "These two definitely have something going on," she asked her. "Do you love my brother? Because I saw you crying for him once." Mo got nervous and told her, "Who? Love where? How? No, no." Jin was surprised and kept looking at her. He stepped on her foot under the table, but he accidentally sent her slipper flying. He got nervous and went to get it for her. His family was surprised. They offered to let them go with them to the sea tomorrow. Our heroes were happy and agreed. The next day, they all boarded a ship. They kept taking pictures on the sea, fishing, and spending a nice time happily. Our heroes decided to go downstairs alone, but they heard her stepmother's voice, got scared, and hid from her. Jin had to jump into the water, but his little sister knew everything. She was sure. She left Mo 2 ice creams for when her brother returned. Our hero came out of the water, and they ate while laughing. The next day, they returned to the city. Mo went to the workshop and hugged him from behind, but suddenly his friend arrived, saw them, and caught them. Our heroine felt embarrassed and pretended she was wiping his face. Jin told her, "Yes, like that, wipe well. Go, son, see what you wanted and leave." He told the workers to leave early and was happy he became alone with Mo. He approached her, but she told him her dog was still remaining. He told her, "Oh, let's cover him." "Too, why not? Let him be covered, my love." They covered the dog, dear viewer, and behave yourself because I know where your mind is going. At night, they got in his car and went out to watch the shooting stars. This time she told him she would stay awake. "I will not sleep and will make a wish." I drank coffee. Indeed, she saw it, seized the opportunity, and made a wish. She asked him to do the same, but he hugged her and told her that his wish had already come true. The next day, she needed a photo for the school festival. She asked Jin to take a picture of her, and indeed, he did so, and he also took a picture with her. Then Mo went to the festival and kept singing and dancing. Everyone admired her performance. When she finished, she went to walk with her friend, and here was the shock. Jin was sitting with a foreign girl, putting his hand on her shoulder. She thought he was cheating on her. Oh, dear viewer, she left the place and walked away after she finally admitted she loved him. He turned out to be a traitor, or that's what we saw. I wonder what the truth is that we will know in the next part, dear viewer. So do not forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell. We want to get this video to 100 likes to release the second part. And that is it. Goodbye.